Hey guys, it's Tara. Just wanted to be able to touch base with you, let you know where I am and what has happened in the last several days. Uh, I am currently 5 days post-op, which means I've done it. I am on the loser's bench and ready to continue on my journey. I did not get a pre-op night before video out as I had hoped to. The night before surgery, I had conferences for my son, and there was just a lot going on trying to get ready and around. And I was pretty antsy, excited for like Christmas morning. That's the best way I can describe it is Christmas morning, getting the nerves for it. So wasn't nervous, like scared, wasn't nervous. It was not a bad nervous at all, which really surprised me. I thought that when it got closer, I would start freaking out, but I really did not. I was so excited to have this done. I have wanted this for a very long time, and this is definitely my do-over. So the night before, I did get a lot of phone calls from family and friends checking on me to see how I was doing, and see if, how my nerves were, and just checking in. So I really appreciate that from all of my family and friends. Um, it was nice to, feel that support. Morning of surgery, my husband and I drove up to the hospital. It's about 2.5 hours away. My brother and sister-in-law followed us up there. And then when we got there, we met my mom and my stepdad and my dad and my stepmom. They had driven in, or actually they were all there the night before, and so they just met us at the hospital. When I got there, they took me back to a room, and my husband and I went into a room and asked my family to go into a waiting room, and that's where they prepped me. A couple of nurses came in and asked a whole bunch of questions, um, just making sure that I wasn't on any medication, and I think I was asked a dozen times if I knew what I was there for, just kind of making sure that I knew what I was getting into type thing. So uh, eventually after let's see, they put an IV in. They had to try it twice because they blew the first time, but they got the IV in finally. Unfortunately, it was on my right hand, and I'm right hand dominant, and so I was kind of felt restrained, or I can't type very well on my phone with my left hand, and I had people messaging and calling and everything else that morning, and so I just kind of felt like I was handicapped. But anyway, so they did get it in. They also gave me a little patch that goes right behind your ear. It was like a little dot, and it was for nausea. They said that it's the same stuff that is used for like people that do oh they go on the boats, whatever they're why can't I think of this? They go cruise ships. So they use them for cruise ships for seasickness and stuff. So they did that, and then they also gave me a blood thinner in my stomach, just a little injection, and then they allowed the family to come back in after that. So I had a room full of people waiting for me to go back to surgery, and the anesthesiologist came in, and my surgeon also came in to visit with me before surgery, and then they started hauling me back there. On my way back, I'm laying up and I'm seeing the lights pass as I go back, and I remember thinking to myself, holy shit, what have I gotten into? Like, that is kind of where I had my freak out moment. It wasn't that I was scared. It was just very, holy shit, this is getting ready to happen. Like, my entire life is getting ready to change, and so that's when I kind of had my moment. So I go into the surgery room, and they are putting these wraps around my legs that blow up and then they deflate, and then they blow up and they deflate, and it helps with circulation, to keep circulation going in your legs. Honestly, it's kind of nice. It's kind of like a little massage on your legs. So they put that on, and the anesthesiologist was putting the mask on my face, and he said, I'm going to put the mask on your face, but right now it's only got oxygen in it. And so, nothing's going to happen at this point. So he puts the mask on my face, and a minute or so later he says, okay, I'm going to start putting medicine through so you'll start to feel sleepy and you'll fall asleep. And I remember as soon as he said that, I thought, this is the absolute last minute that I can change my mind, that I can get out of this. Like, as soon as that starts, this is done. I mean, this is as good as done. There's no going back. But it's the second I was done with that thought, for me, the next thing, literally I thought that, and then all of a sudden they were saying, Tara, Tara, it's time to get up, Tara, Tara. So there was like nothing in between for me. Obviously I know that the surgery took a while, but for me there was nothing in between. So it was like, holy moly. Coming out of anesthesia, or off of anesthesia, or however you would say that, was not that bad at first. When I was in the room by myself, with just the nurse or whatever that was monitoring me, I was doing okay. I was very out of it. I don't remember much of it. I don't know how long I was in there. It really only felt like a couple minutes for me. But then when it was time to move me to my surgery room, or not my surgery room, my hospital room, I had a lot of people there. And so I had a lot of people that were touching me and letting me know that they were there and supporting me, and they were talking, and the lights were different, and there was just a bunch of noise. And that overstimulation really got to me, and I really had a hard time with it. I was told that I got kind of hateful to my husband, and I greatly apologize for that, because I would never act like that to him. That's not how we treat each other. So I do apologize for that. I did not mean to be hateful. So if you ever watch this, I love you, and I'm very sorry. But I was so over, I don't know, just kind of like a stress on my body, like there's an irritation, the noise and stuff. I did end up getting very, very nauseous. I had a really hard time with nausea. I could not get it under control. They were doing Zofran, and it would work for a couple of minutes, and then I would be back at it again. I was vomiting, and when you have the sleeve done, you don't vomit like regular. You vomit foam. And so, I am sorry to sound gross about this, but that foam does not leave your mouth. So when you're vomiting, it is all stuck around your mouth, and it is disgusting. And not only that, you just had surgery on your stomach, and now you're contracting your stomach trying to throw up. It is the most miserable thing ever. The pain was not that bad. I never really had a huge issue in the beginning with pain. It was the nausea, the pain from throwing up, obviously, but that was a result of nausea. So they finally were able to get a hold of the surgeon and get me a different type of nausea medicine, or anti-nausea medicine. And once they got that into me, I was a lot better. And I've been told that they also gave me some morphine. I was so out of it for the first several hours that I don't really remember that, but they gave me some morphine, and I pretty much slept. Like, I would wake up long enough to open my eyes that someone was there, and then I'd be right back to sleep. Now, when I say that I slept, I could pretty much hear everything going on around me. Like, as nurses came in or people came in, I could hear that, but I had no desire to interact at all. I am really sorry. I'll get to that in a minute, that burping. But anyway, so in the beginning, it was really bad. I finally woke up. Let's see. So I had surgery at about 1:30. I would guess that I was probably back in a room by 3:30. I don't know for sure. I was finally up, as far as awake, by about, 8 o'clock or so. I did need to go to the bathroom at one point. When they came in to get me out of bed, that first time out of bed, you have got to push through it. It hurts so bad. The pain is unreal, but obviously you have to do it. So when they went to get me up, the pain was causing me to shake, and I was sweating profusely. Felt like I was ready to pass out. It was really bad. But I made it. I got to the bathroom. I used the bathroom. I was able to get back into bed and pretty much go back to sleep, because my body was completely worn out after just a trip to the bathroom. By the second time I went to the bathroom, it was not fun, but it was definitely not as bad as the first time. By the third time, I actually got myself up without any help, and I went to the bathroom. It did still hurt, but I was able to do it on my own. And each time I went after that, it got a little bit better. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about the hospital? They did have a little bit of troubles keeping my oxygen up in the hospital, so I stayed a little bit longer than what was expected. I didn't get out until after lunch. I should have gotten out earlier in the morning, but because they were having a little bit of trouble with the oxygen, I stayed around for a little bit. I have not had any issues from the very beginning with sipping my water, which thank God, because I didn't know how I can deal with that. I mean, I would have, but I haven't had any issues with it at all. Now, I take smaller drinks, and I only take a few sips at a time because then I start getting pretty gassy. But there was no issues. Speaking of gas, a lot of people have pains from gas after surgery, and I did at the very beginning when I was vomiting and stuff. I had a lot of pain in my left shoulder, but by the 8 o'clock when I was up, I really have not had any more gas pains at all. I have done very well without the gas pains, which has been nice. The only time that I feel them now, like I said, is when I drink several sips at a time, or I don't even know what it says, I take regular drinks, but when I drink several of them at a time, I get pretty gassy. Or, not even gassy, it's that burping thing. Like, I never realized how much you burp after having this surgery done. It's kind of gross. I'm not a big fan of women belching, or even men belching is gross, but definitely not a fan of women belching. I don't like belching in front of people. But it is something that is absolutely unpreventable after surgery. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys about the hospital itself before I move on is that when I went in to, when I initially went in before they put my husband and I in the room, they weighed me. And because of pre-op, I was down, or from pre-op, I was down 16 pounds. So on September 20th, when I went to my pre-op meeting with the surgeon, I was 318 pounds, and I weighed in at the hospital at 302. That being said, after surgery, they weighed me, and I was at 308. So I had gained 6 pounds from the gas. And then before I left again, I was back down to 305. As of yesterday, I was down to 297. So I've lost 5 pounds since surgery, so far that I know of. Today's Wednesday. Friday is my follow-up appointment with my surgeon, so I'll have a better figure or number then. I'm just going off scales that I have here. I kind of don't like that at all, but I'll have a better number on Friday. Okay, so I was released after lunch on Saturday. The ride home was another 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe. I really enjoyed it. There was no discomfort, no pain. Once I was in my Suburban, I was comfortable. The ride felt good. I had a body pillow that I kind of kept across my stomach. I was really afraid of the ride being a horrible experience. But honestly, I was kind of impressed with how well I felt on the way home. Now, once I got home, getting out and moving around and stuff was exhausting. I pretty much slept all the rest of Saturday, and then Sunday I pretty much slept most of the day. I was in quite a bit of pain Sunday. Now, I have 5 incision sites, most of them being on the left side of my stomach. The site that they took the stomach out of is on my right side, and it is to the right of my belly button and up. I have no pain there. My pain is actually below that. And I'm assuming that's because they pulled muscle when it stretched my muscles or whatever. But that's where my pain is. It's where my pain has always been, and that is the only place that I have pain is in that spot. It is pretty intense pain. Well, it's not so bad today, but it was in the beginning. It was pretty excruciating pain. It was hard to sleep. It was hard to get up. It was hard to sit down. It was hard to get comfortable at all. It was pretty bad. But I slept most of Sunday. Monday, I went out to a little suburb here of where I live, and that's where my mom is staying with my brother right now. So I went out there for the day. I didn't get kids. My oldest daughter drove, and we went out there. Um, I did well. I pretty much was lazy, didn't do much. I kind of sat around, visited and stuff, but I was tired. And anyways, we ended up coming home and got them ready for school the next day. Sorry. But so that was Monday because they didn't have school Monday, but they did. Then they had school Tuesday. Was it Tuesday, which was yesterday? I was doing a lot better, a whole lot better. So that would have been, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So 4 days post-op, I was doing by far better. I got up, I got myself a shower, which I had already showered Monday, but it was pretty exhausting Monday. But Tuesday I did just fine. I took my own shower. I got around. I went with my mom for a little bit. I even went on a trip to Walmart and was able to walk around. I had the cart with me, and it wasn't a long trip. It was pretty short. I walked pretty slow, but I did get up and around. I felt pretty good. Today is Wednesday. I feel far better than I have every other day previous. I am doing really well. I got up this morning, got myself a shower. I got ready. I've been at home all day. I didn't go anywhere today. I will later this evening. My boy has a ball game. But I'm not walking as bent over to my stomach. It doesn't hurt as bad to get up and move. Getting up off the couch isn't as excruciating. Today is by far the best day. So each day that I'm doing this is getting a little bit better. And if you would have asked me, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday wasn't as bad. Saturday or Sunday, I would not have done this over. Like, if you would have asked me if I would do this all over again, I would have told you there's no way in the world I would have done this again. It is miserable. However, that being said, all I had to do was get through a couple of days of pretty crappy days, and I feel so much better. Obviously, there's not much results yet, but those are going to come, and I know they're going to come, and I'm glad for where I am. Diet-wise, I am on all liquids, so I have been doing lots of water. I chew on ice, and I chew it until it's melted, so I don't swallow ice, but I do a lot of ice. That helps me get my water in. And then I do, oh, sorry guys. Then I do broth. So my husband made some chicken the other night, and I had the broth from that. My mom made some food that had some broth, and so I have some of that. And so I have broth to drink. I've done some popsicles. I really haven't done as many as what I thought I would do, but I've done some popsicles, and then just fluid. I mean, it's all fluids, so that's what I've been doing. I am getting 90 grams of protein in right now, so let's talk about Gene Pro. Gene Pro is marketed as a flavorless protein, and per scoop there's 30 grams. I have very, very thin hair that sucks. I haven't always had thin hair in my life, but I do now. I have very thin hair, and I am determined to do everything in my power to minimize, if not prevent, obviously that's my hope, any kind of hair loss. I do not know if this is possible. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it, but I guarantee that if I start losing hair, it will not be because I haven't given it everything I can not to. So I am getting in 90 grams of protein, and the way that I'm doing it is I am taking a scoop of the protein and about 2 to 3 ounces of whatever I'm drinking and mixing it, and I drink that 3 times a day. So that gets my 90 grams of protein in. I was originally, I've had this stupid cough since surgery too, so I'll talk to my surgeon about it on Saturday. But originally I was mixing the Gene Pro with Powerade Zero, and I almost couldn't stomach it. I was determined to stomach it, but I think it has a flavor. I can't explain the flavor, but maybe it doesn't have a flavor, but it changes the flavor of my whatever I'm drinking. So I really had a hard time with it the first couple days. And then I thought, this is kind of stupid. I'm not a big Powerade, Gatorade fan anyway, so why am I mixing this with Powerade or Gatorade? So I drink the Great Value. They're not obviously Crystal Light, but they're like the Crystal Light packets. I don't think I have any around here. I'd show you guys. But I drink those anyways. Like, I mix them with it's something you put in water, and I mix them with my water. So I thought, why am I not mixing this stuff with that? And so I've done that, and it has helped. It still changed to me. I think it still changes the flavor of whatever I'm drinking, but it's bearable now. And I'm getting my 90 grams of protein, and that is my ultimate goal, is to get that protein in, because like I said, I'm going to do everything I can not to make this even worse than what it is. This thin hair is a nightmare. So that's how I'm doing that. My water's coming, or my liquids are coming from either broth or water or popsicles, or I'm sipping all day long. In fact, I've got my cup here, and I guarantee my daughter's going to say something about it because it was her cup, but that's fine. She shares. Whether she knows it or not, she shares. So I'm getting those in. Let's see what else. A lot of people I see post about bowel movements after surgery, and I am happy to post 5 days post-op. I finally had a bowel movement. That being said, I didn't have any pain from not having a bowel movement, and I didn't have any discomfort. I didn't have any issues with the fact that I wasn't having a bowel movement. I just know that you should have a bowel movement. So I have had 2 bowel movements today, so I am running just fine. I'm sure that a lot of that comes from the liquids, making sure that you get your liquids in. And I'm very, I really try to do that. I'm trying to really stay with what I need. Since I'm not having troubles getting liquids down, I feel like I'm drinking all the time, but at least I'm getting what I need in. I don't know that I'm getting the recommended 64 ounces. I'm going to bet that I'm probably not, but I am definitely making a dent in my liquid intake, and like I said, I had about 2 bowel movements today, so something's moving through, so I'm thankful for that. Let's see what else I want to tell you guys about. It being said that I'm on the liquids, people have asked me about the hunger and, how I'm feeling being around people that are eating and that type of stuff. I have 0 hunger at any time. None whatsoever, which thank God that has been easy. I really have been blessed in this. Like, besides the first couple of days sucking, this really could have turned out much worse, and I've seen worse stories about this surgery. So I'm blessed. I don't have any hunger at all. Like, I drink and do what I need to do because that's what I'm supposed to do, but there's no underlying hunger. People have eaten around me. I mean, since surgery, I've had pizza eaten in front of me. I've had, my mom made potatoes and ham and green beans yesterday. I've had Sonic eaten in front of me. None of it was really bad. I will say, my daughter was eating an ice cream from Sonic, and I did catch myself staring at, maybe drooling just a little bit at her ice cream. But it wasn't that I was hungry for it or anything else. It was just like, ice cream's kind of my kryptonite, so I'm not sure when I can add that back into things, but I'll have to be really careful with it because it is definitely something that could give me problems. Other than that, I haven't had any issues with the food being around or, people eating whatever they eat or anything like that. So, here on I think that's about all I have. Things are going really well. It was, like I said, a little bit tough in the beginning. I have an amazing support system. My husband has babied me since I've been home, and I greatly appreciate it. Um, my kids have done really well with it. Obviously, as I said in the previous deal, I did not tell them when I was having the surgery. They just knew that I was going to have the surgery, and they were pretty confident that I'd be having it in December. So that was kind of the original plan, was to have surgery in December. But that all changed, and I was able to get it done earlier. When I told my kids, they were all supportive about it, very encouraging. They've done very, very well with me having this done. So that's a big plus. It was something I was kind of worried about, but it went very well. I don't know what else I have. I am super proud of myself for actually going through with this and doing this. It still, to this day, seems surreal. Um, like sitting here right now, there's absolutely no pain or discomfort or anything. I just feel like I've got a day off work and I'm being lazy. Um, I'm not hungry, but it doesn't feel like I could. I mean, like I don't have this feeling of anything's different. I still feel like I could eat a cheeseburger if I wanted to eat a cheeseburger. I'm just not hungry for a cheeseburger. So I don't know, it's kind of a weird feeling. I have moments where I'm kind of shocked that I've actually done this, and it kind of, I don't know, it's weird. But it is definitely done. I've got well, not scars yet, but I've got the hours to prove it. When I get up, I'll definitely know that it's done, but other than that, it's been pretty easy going for me. I am looking forward to Friday. I'm kind of excited to add some variety into my intake, because even though I'm not hungry, the clear liquids are getting kind of boring. But as of Friday, I can start having pudding and stuff of that kind of consistency. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I have my appointment with the surgeon, my follow-up appointment Friday. So just looking forward to that. In the meantime, guys, do not forget to journey onward. And what I was going to say, if you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys later. Bye.